So the next speaker we have is from the Faculty of Brain Sciences, and it is Imogen Swift.
Okay, so for the next few moments, I'm going to tell you why I'm doing my PhD, and I'm going to tell you Rachel's story. So I would like you to imagine that you have a 4-year-old daughter. She is standing in front of you and she is crying. She's really hurt herself. Your father is looking on and he is laughing. He's laughing at his own granddaughter crying. This is not the man you know. This is a symptom of his dementia, and it's getting worse. At age 59, he was diagnosed with frontotemporal dementia, and symptoms include things like inappropriate behavior. It's a progressive condition, meaning he'll only get worse. In going to your doctor, you found out that he has a hereditary form, and you carry the same faulty gene. You will also get this awful condition. As you look down at your 4-year-old daughter, you know that she has a 50% chance of that same fate. This is Rachel's life. This is the reality of someone living with frontotemporal dementia. However, there is hope. We are currently in an era of clinical trials for dementia, and there are actually some treatments in the pipeline for this specific form. However, we currently don't have accurate ways to measure whether these treatments actually work, so they can be approved and not rejected. So, how can we do this? Well, as part of my PhD, I look in body fluids, and this is things like blood. And to do this, I use something called a sandwich assay. And this is not as tasty as it sounds. It's a way to look in the differences between Rachel's blood and people who don't carry the faulty gene. So, what have I found? Well, one major finding for my PhD is the interplay between two key molecules. They're known as progranulin, shown here in purple, and prosapsin in orange. For some context, in our brains, these molecules act like best friends. They're often found together, and they have very similar roles in our brains to keep them functioning as they should. However, in the blood of people like Rachel, we found that there was reduced levels of progranulin and increased levels of prosapsin. This difference could explain what's going wrong in the brain and why we develop symptoms like we see in Rachel's father. So what now? Well, 5 years ago, these trials did not exist, and there was limited hope. Now they do exist, but we don't have great ways to measure whether they actually work. Hopefully, this research can change that. Trials that actually restore the balance of these two molecules could help us solve the puzzle of frontotemporal dementia. Now is the time for Rachel and for her young daughter. Thank you for listening.